Hi, my name is Brody, and this is Mooney's Pond. It's a place I've been to more times than I can honestly keep track of. Over the years, the pond has become somewhat of my mecca, a place that has become a gentle reminder to look and listen a little closer. I don't think words could properly express how important this place feels to me. It facilitated my interests in photography, mycology, and general plant identification. I shot my first engagement shoot along the trail. I became a part of a community here, and it's the place I take the people closest to me. At first, when I started visiting this place, I would pay attention to the obvious spots, like the view of the pond in most of its entirety from the floating dock, or along the bridge, marking the midpoint of the trail, connecting the circuit. But with each passing trip, I pay attention to smaller and smaller details that always find a way to leave me in wonder. I listen to the calm pond spill over into the fish ladder, once in a while catching a glimpse of some little fish darting around in search of food or fun or both. I stop along the trail to admire long-dead tree stumps brimming with new life. I listen for familiar bird calls and learn to recognize the many that I don't. I ring in fall with the smells of the trail in what can only be described as pilgrimage. Most years making 2 to 3 trips a week in October as the leaves paint a gradient mosaic around the edges of the pond. Jovially, I search for the perfect maple leaf and without fail find a multitude across a beautiful array of colors. Nothing really quite beats the smell of the trail in October. Most of it is enveloped by woods, and the pine trees being the most prominent note. Then, as you start to acclimate, you begin smelling the earthiness and decomposition of fall. The air is crisp, but not so cold that it stings. It's calm, but at the same time, vibrantly active. This feels like a bit less of an essay on Mooney's Pond and more of a love letter. I suppose that's quite fitting. Mooney's Pond is deceptively complex. It is consistently different, but constantly beautiful. It is the place I go in my mind to envision calmness. I had originally planned for this essay to be about community, talking about a photography community day organized here, the Amish communities that have started popping up in the area, and the significance of finding your place within a community. Despite going in with a plan while filming, Mooney's Pond took me in a different direction mentally as I got home and reflected on the trip. This is the point in most creative endeavors where I let anxiety get the best of me and convince myself that what I'm making isn't any good. I find creating things like this to be both a freeing and damning experience. I was incredibly proud of the first video. I think it's one of the best things that I've created so far, if I'm honest. But with that pride comes a fear that this video could never stack up. If I had started this project last year, it likely would have fizzled out with episode 1. That would have been a shame. I love what ideas I think this series will let me share with you, the places that we can go together. I can't express how much it means that you've come on this journey with me, and I'm glad I got to show you around Mooney's Pond. After all, it's the place I take the people closest to me.